He found it again while clearing out the attic, tucked inside an old shoebox filled with faded concert tickets and forgotten letters. The Polaroid. Its colors had softened over the years, the once sharp edges now blurred, like a memory half forgotten. He ran his thumb over the glossy surface. One picture, one moment, a lifetime of what-ifs. It was taken on a summer evening, the kind where the air is thick with the scent of cut grass and the promise of a coming storm. He was 21, all clumsy confidence and a future that felt as wide and open as the sky. She was, well, she was everything. Her laugh was the soundtrack to that entire summer. In the photo, they're sitting on the hood of his beat-up Ford, feet dangling. The setting sun paints the sky in shades of orange and purple. He's looking at her, a goofy, love-struck grin plastered on his face. But she's not looking at him. She's looking straight at the camera, a small, knowing smile playing on her lips, as if she could see right through the lens and into the future, into this very moment. He remembered the click of the camera, the worry sound as the picture ejected. They'd watched it develop in their hands, the ghostly shapes slowly sharpening into focus. "Keep this," she'd said, pressing it into his palm, "so you don't forget me." He'd laughed. How could he ever forget her? But life has a funny way of making you forget things you swore you never would. College ended. Jobs pulled them to different cities. The weekly phone calls became monthly, then yearly, then nothing. Just the occasional holiday card, and then silence. He traced the outline of her face in the photograph. What if he had fought harder? What if he'd said, "Don't go," or better yet, "I'll come with you"? What if he had picked up the phone just one more time? The questions were a familiar ache, a phantom limb he'd learned to live with. He'd built a good life, a wife he adored, 2 kids who were his whole world. A career he was proud of. He wouldn't trade it for anything. But sometimes, in the quiet moments, his mind would drift back to that summer, to that girl, to the infinite possibilities that existed in the space between one heartbeat and the next. The Polaroid was a portal to a life he hadn't lived, a ghost of a boy he used to be. He could almost feel the warm metal of the car hood under his legs, taste the cheap beer they were sharing, hear her laugh echoing in the twilight. He remembered the day she left. They stood at the train station, the air heavy with unspoken words. The future was a speeding train, and they were standing on opposite platforms. He'd wanted to say so much. "I love you. Stay. Don't leave me." But the words got stuck in his throat, tangled up in fear and uncertainty. He'd just hugged her, a quick, awkward embrace, and said, "Call me when you get there." It was the biggest regret of his life. Over the years, the Polaroid became his secret. He'd take it out on rainy afternoons or late at night when the house was asleep. It was a form of self-torture, maybe, but also a comfort, a reminder that once he was a boy who loved a girl so much, it felt like the sun and moon and all the stars were wrapped up in her smile. He thought about his wife, asleep downstairs. Their love wasn't a fiery sunset. It was a steady, warm sunrise. It was built on shared dreams, inside jokes, and weathering life's storms together. It was real. It was the life he had chosen, the life he cherished. And yet, the what-if was a stubborn ghost. What if he'd gotten on that train with her? Where would they be now? Would they have made it? Would the fiery passion have fizzled out? Or would it have deepened into something else? Would they be happy? Or would they be 2 strangers, haunted by the memory of a perfect summer? He'd seen her once, about 10 years ago. He was on a business trip, rushing through a crowded airport. He saw a flash of familiar red hair, heard a laugh that made his heart stop. He turned, and there she was, older, but unmistakably her. She was with a man and a little girl who had her eyes. She looked happy, content. She didn't see him. He'd stood there, frozen, as they disappeared into the crowd. He never told his wife. What was there to say? He tucked the Polaroid back into the envelope it came in. He knew he should throw it away. It was a relic of a past that no longer existed, a doorway to a path not taken. Keeping it felt like a small betrayal to the beautiful life he had, but his fingers wouldn't let it go. It wasn't about wanting her back. It wasn't about regretting his choices. It was about honoring the memory of being young and fearless, of believing that love was enough to conquer distance and time. The photo wasn't just a picture of her. It was a picture of him, too, a version of himself he sometimes missed. The boy who was brave enough to love so completely. Ebenif. Evasenti. Brave enough to say it out loud. He put the lid back on the shoebox. He'd bring it down from the attic this time. Maybe he'd even show it to his wife. Tell her the story of the goofy, love-struck boy on the hood of the car. Maybe she'd understand. Maybe she'd share a story of her own. A what-if from her own past. Because maybe that's what love is. Not just the life you build together, but the acceptance of all the lives you didn't live. All the people you were before you found each other. It's about looking at your past, not with regret, but with a gentle understanding. One picture. One moment. It wasn't a lifetime of what-ifs anymore. It was a single, beautiful chapter in a much longer story. A story that was still being written, and he was finally ready to turn the page. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories about the moments that shape us. See you next time.